So very good evening to all. We are in unit number 3. We are going to see about what is concurrent model and object oriented model. We have seen so many models, so we will just go for a brief. Okay, so model commonly used for describing the embedded system. So be very clear why we go for model is, so there will be as company CEO or managing directors or board of members. All such fellows will not be background with the engineering background. So for them, you whatever you want to explain about the system which you are manufacturing, you have to explain them with the model. Okay, so that is what we say here also, model. So how you are going to do? We have seen already what is called a sequential. It provides a set of statement rules for putting the statement one after other. So this word is more important. So one after other, that is why it is called a sequential. So it will not jump from any one place to another place like that. So it will be your process will be in a sequential. Okay, so for sequential model, if you want any example, then you have to see a bottling industry. So in bottling industry, first of all, there should be empty case. Empty case is nothing but a bottle collected from the shop holders. So that will be put for wash. So first step that they have to do, wash the bottle. Then that bottle should be arranged. Then that bottle should move in conveyor belt. Then the bottle should be filled. Then bottle should be closed. So you cannot interchange. You cannot say I will first fill then wash. So that is not case. So any embedded system, when you are trying to make like this, then for the higher officials like board of members or directors, then you have to explain it in a sequential programming model. So in sequential programming model, I repeat say that it is a model we say for, it is only for describing how you are going to describe your system. Then communication process model, it supports description of multi-sequential program running concurrently. This is otherwise called as concurrent model also. Then third one is state machine model. From the word itself, state, what is the current state, what is the next state. If the state fails, what has to do. If the state pass, what have to do. So for this I have told you an example of coin box. So go take the handle. In coin box way of phone method, you will take the handle. Once you take the handle, you will keep it in your ear and you will see whether you are able to listen the dial tone. If it is not, you will just keep it back and move forward. That's all. You will say it is not working. Okay, so everything is only based upon the state. So first, when you take and keep it on your ears, there can be two state. One, you can hear the dial tone, or nothing. So if you are hearing dial tone, then what you will do? You will put the coin inside. Once you put the coin, it will go to the next state that asks you to type the number. Here again you have to enter a proper number, otherwise it will come out. See, it will come out on all the stage if that is failing, and it will return back the coin. Otherwise it will hold the coin. So that is a best example for state machine model. So it is commonly used for control dominant system. Control dominant system is one whose behavior consists mostly of monitoring control. So that is what I told, monitor. So it is keep on monitoring on such particular thing, and then it is try to move from one state to other. And next one was data flow. In data flow model, something has to come from outside, and that what is you have got, that has to be processed. Okay, for I have told you a best example for data flow is your audio signal. Okay, if you are designing an embedded for audio system like your music player or FM radio, in that case data will be flowing inside. So from antenna you will receive the signal when you are going to design an embedded for radio. Okay, it's like FM or AM. So in that case your data will come in. Then you have to identify which is data, which is noise. Then you have to separate the data and noise. Then that data itself you can even go for splitting. You will split the bass, you will split some other instruments separately. All such things you will do. That is a best example for data flow. Okay, then comes object oriented. So this is like something of very big box or in a very big embedded system. Example, you can say like car automation or an embedded in your automobile, where you have multiple of tasks. So not one single task or two tasks, you have multiple tasks. In that case, which provides an elegant means of breaking a complex software into simpler. See, each and every sensor data cannot be brought into your main embedded system of automobile. Then it is very tedious. Okay, so what I have told, you have a microcontroller for each and everything, and if it is worst case, only it will report to the main embedded system. Okay, that is what role. For example, nowadays when you take any particular car, you have a petrol tank. So petrol tank, you try to monitor what is the petrol level or diesel level. So after monitoring, it will not say any information directly to the main embedded system. Rather, a microcontroller will be there. He will take care of all this monitoring, how much level of petrol is there, all such thing, and he will directly give information to dashboard. And when you are continuously driving, now latest car, you can see if the petrol is not sufficient more than 50 kilometers, what it will do, it will give an alarm. Okay, first initially it will make a small light to blink on dashboard like yellow color with the petrol pump symbol indicating that petrol level is less. Even if it is proceed beyond a thing, then only it will give an intimation to main embedded system, and the main embedded system will give an alarm systems and all, and it will caution you. Okay, so that is what object oriented model. In object oriented model, the entire task will be subdivided into objects, or it will be broken up into some each and every separate task, and then finally I will combine it. Okay, you can see usually object oriented model we will write only with the C++. Okay, so C++ is the best example for object oriented way of writing. So I think you all know what is meant by class. So each and everything you will write it in a class, and in main program you will just call it. Whenever required, all the data will be taken from the main embedded of your car, and this main embedded, I am repeatedly saying embedded, main embedded is nothing but a main controller, which is to take care of the entire control of your automobile. Okay, so what is the difference between model and a language? Language is like a C, C++, Java, all that we call it as a language. And what is the difference between a model and a language? So model, I just give a brief that model is the way how you are going to represent to your higher official of what you are going to do. Okay, and that model will be converted into program with the help of language. Okay, a computation model describes the desired system behavior, while language captures the model. So really the work is done by the language or the software or the code which you are going to write in a particular software system. Okay, like C, C++, all such things. Whereas in model there won't be any language and all. It will not say about the language based thing. Okay, then comes your a model is a conceptual notation, while a language captures that concept into concrete form. Okay, a sequential program is a model. A conceptual notation consisting set of program instruction for computing something, and notation is how sequence among these instructions. So I think now you are clear what is model. Model repeatedly we were saying. So model is something which is going to explain how you are doing, but not with respect to program or instruction. All that thing will not be there. Just it will explain how you are going to do it without telling about any language. Okay, now let us move on to concurrent process model. a system functionality is described using multiple computation models. So in concurrent process model, you are going to combine two different types of model. So when I want to have sequential, then state machine, then data flow, then concurrent is of utilizing all of this is called concurrent model. So it allows to describe the functionality of a system in terms of two or more concurrent executing subtasks. So at an instant you will have two or three currently running. Okay, in this case 2 or 3 currently running. See, for example, when you in implementation of A, implementation of B and implementation of C, these are the 3 different tasks which you want to do. In that case you use something from state machine, something from sequential. So state machine is done with the Pascal, sequential is done with C, C++, data flow from Java. All this you can combine and you will implement A, and then all this you will combine and you will implement in B. So that is what is concurrent. Concurrent, at a time 2 or 3 will be running, 2-3 types of model will be running, and combining this you will do. Usually this is for a multitasking scheme. When you want to go for multitasking, you go for this concurrent model. The choice of computation model is based on the designer to describe the system. Again I repeat, selecting the model is talent of the programmer and the talent of the person who is going to use. So who is going to call it as a designer? That designer capability. Okay, see, for best example, when you see there in cinematography or the cinema, a person who takes camera, you call it as a cameraman, and a person who instruct this cameraman, you call it as a director. But you can see all the directors and cameramen are not same. See, you can even see like in Shankar films, like you can see more of effects. This more effect is the talent of the cameraman and the director. Okay, that is what here is. So model, we have defined so many model, but the outcome will be super based upon the designer. Okay, so the choice of language is to capture the computation model used by the designer. The choice of implementation is based on whether it meets the power, size, cost and requirement. And finally, see, for example, I am manufacturing a cheap product. In that case I will not go for concurrent model and all. One single model, try to use, write the program, flash it. If it is a thing which is can be sold at a very high rate, then I will go for concurrent models and I will go for so many type of complication, so that it will be helpful if I go for concurrent model. Okay, best example is Maruti 800 car versus Ferrari car. Okay, or a Formula 1 race car. So in Formula 1 race car, I think you all know what is the speed difference between a Wagoner car and a Ferrari running in Formula 1. It is around 230 to 300 kilometers it can be driven, whereas here it is only 60 to 80. So all the things should be in such a case that you should have highly reliable thing. So there you will go for concurrent model of embedded system, whereas in normal case not such thing is required. Okay, that is what they mean to say. So now for concurrent, we'll let us see an example of heartbeat monitoring system. So in heartbeat monitoring, I will have two tasks. One is read pulse. If the pulse is low, then activate something. If pulse is high, activate some other thing, then wait for some time and repeatedly do this, because it is not a single time measuring. When you connect an heartbeat rate to a patient in an hospital, this task has to be repeatedly done. So if the pulse is going low, then you will activate siren, so that nurse will come near you and try to see. If the pulse is high, again siren should be activated, so you should nurse has to come. So this is one. And the second one is, if B1 by B2 pressed, then LO is equal to LO minus, all these are calculation. This is the next step, and based upon this it will say what is its current reading. Okay, so heartbeat monitoring, it is not only displaying the heartbeat, it is also doing some other tasks. So on this task are different. Next example is set-top box system. In a set-top box system, in your Tata Sky or Dish TV or Airtel, whatever you take, what and all the steps to be carried out is, I have to repeatedly read the signal. Repeatedly read signal is separate. Wait on task 1, decode output audio, repeat. That is second task. And third task is I have to separate video. Are you able to understand? All the three will be simultaneously running. One fellow has to repeatedly read the signal, separate the audio video, send audio to audio task 2, send video to video task 2, repeat. In task 2, wait for task 1, decode the output audio, because it will come in encrypted way. Otherwise, no need set-top box itself. Directly I can receive whatever signal I want. So everything is encoded, and you have to decode it. So this is about concurrent model. Okay, example for concurrent models. So basic operation defined by the concurrent model process is process, create and terminate. So we have seen here, when you see, this work will be done, and this work will be done, then this will be erased, this will be done, and this will be in a sequence. You cannot say it will be run only for one time. It will be so it will create, do the work, terminate, process, suspend and resume, process, join. So this three will be there. Communication among the process is like shared memory or message passing. So you share the memory between them. See, when you take a set-top box, in a set-top box there should be a memory for storing the audio, there should be a memory for storing video, and this is not permanently stored, it is just temporarily stored. It will get from the signal, it will store it and send it to TV, then it will erase. So that is what we say here. So it is only shared memory. One process must wait for another process to compute a value, reach a point in execution, or signal some condition before it is proceed. Synchronization among concurrently executing process is user constraint. So whenever you say concurrent, when 2 or 3 fellow is operating, obviously there should be a synchronism between them, otherwise it will fail. See, if only one person is working, there is no need for any synchronization. If 2 or 3 is working, obviously you need synchronization. Okay, see, if I need net, you all also need net to attend the class, I need net to take class. So anyone, if net is not there, that's all. What I communicate is not being communicated to all. So when 2 or 3 person is involved, automatically it should be in synchronization. So concurrent model is a synchronized model. So one method to achieve synchronization to the monitor, it is nothing but collection of data and method that operate on this data similar to object in OOPS. So now what I mean to say is concurrent and object oriented model are little bit more or same. So this is just another example. Let us move. So here when you see a communication bus, process 1, process 2, process 3, process 4, or it can be done with the general purpose processor or a processor separately with the general purpose processor, like this you can do. So for this is entirely put together is an embedded system for a particular application. So for process 1 I can put a separate processor, process 2 I can put a separate processor, like that you can have separate processor itself inside your embedded system. I told more than one, so more than one only you can call it as concurrent model. So this fellow will do and give it to this fellow, and this will try to do and give it to this, and this will do a task and give it to it, and they will be in a sequence way of operating it. Okay, or what I can do, bring all processor to a single general purpose processor, try to do it and implement it. Okay, in some case, assume now process A is alone receiving any audio, and that audio has to be removed from noise and you have to demodulate, then remaining you can do it with a single processor, then you will go like this method. So process 1 alone is being done by a separate processor, remaining is being combined by a general purpose processor. Okay, all this is just way of implementation. One way to implement multiprocessor is to implement multitasking. Often we encounter with multiprocessor to implement with a single processor itself. To achieve the above, to share the process and the process among the three, this is generally used because some data from the process will be required for the process 2 also, and this data will be required by the process 3 also. In some case processor 4 requires the data of processor 1. So in that case, if it is done in a single processor, then data sharing can be done easily. Or in this case, you see, if this fellow needs, he has to ask the separately, go to the processor and get the information, where here the processor is same, only memory location sharing. So that is what we mean to say. You go for a processor, in that single processor itself you try to do your various process. During the process of sharing, the processor leads to concept of suspending and resuming the processor. So if when you want a data, I have to wait with my work, give you the data what is required to you, then I have to start. So that is the case like this. When D request, A has to temporarily stop his process and give it. Whereas when you do with this method, it is like a memory sharing itself. So I will directly a single processor. So for process 4, if it requires, it will go to the memory and it will try to take it. Task of the OS is create and terminate process, and this is just a repetition. Suspending and resuming the process, joining process, scheduling the process. Okay, so here I am saying concurrent process about a seat belt warning system. Seat belt warning system is in nowadays in car, when you are not wearing the seat belt, I can even make the ignition itself to go off. So I will wait for the person to put the seat belt, because once he get inside the car, I have to give some time. Then I will see whether he has wear the seat belt, then I will give alarm. If he is not taking note of my alarm, then I will do something with my ignition. So in even now, in latest Innova car and all, similar way is there for handbrake system. In handbrake, if you try to put your handbrake and try to drive, even though if you press the accelerator, your car will not move. Car will just move in 10 km speed. That's all. Maximum speed what they have given is 10 km, because it should not stop. It will not move faster. So automatically the driver will come to know something is wrong. Then you will see the dashboard, and dashboard will indicate that you have not removed your handbrake. Okay, so you have just get in. If you have started the car, then if you start to put in first gear and try to drive, all such thing will happen, and it will say that handbrake is there. So even if you put in first gear and press the accelerator, it will not go beyond 10 km speed. And similarly for seat belt, it will allow till 20 km speed. Once if you cross 20 km speed, then it will give sound, and even if you are not accepting it, the sound alarm will try to increase, and somehow it will try to ask you to put the seat belt and try to proceed. So all this is an example of that. And last one is object oriented model. We all know what is object oriented. So based upon the object you try to do. So it is an approach to model an application that is used at the beginning of software life cycle. When using an object oriented approach to software development, the software life cycle is typically divided up into stages, going from abstract description of the problem to design, then the code, then the testing, and finally to the development. Object oriented is based upon each and separate thing we will try to sit and do it. So that is what average. Now we are giving example on our embedded development life cycle itself. We are considering as an object oriented. So okay, so what is the first object? First object will be need, second object will be conceptualization, then you will proceed. Okay, just an example they say. So the reason to the model of a system before writing the code are, first one is communication. So before going into writing a program, what you have to do is, user typically cannot understand the programming. So user, they say, is the higher people, the director, board of member and all. So model diagram can be more understandable and can allow the user to give development feedback on the approach structure of the system. So when you write and explain in terms of model, they will try to understand and they will try to give the feedback. The key goal of the object oriented approach is to decrease the schematic gap between the system and the real world by using terminology that is same as the function that user perform. So modeling is an essential tool to facilitate and achieve this goal. So when you have split up into 2 and 3 separately, if you are explaining and then putting like showing in a paper, then you will get feedback as well as your goal will be achieved. Then abstraction, a goal of the most software methodology is to first address what question and then address how questions. So this is what is a best example for saying need. Okay, first determine the functionality the system is to provide without consideration of implementing constraint. Okay, for what you are developing this embedded system, that is the first thing, without saying whether you are going to use controller, processor, C program, Java, no such thing. So first thing is, first determine the functionality what your embedded system will do. Okay, so that is what we say. Then consider how take this abstract description and refine into an implementable design and code given constraints such as technology and budget. Then comes all the things, what technology you are going to use. See, for example, for wireless communication itself, you have Zigbee, you have Bluetooth. Okay, then that depends upon the technology and the budget which you are going to put for the product. Modeling enable this by allowing abstract description of the process and the object that define their essential structure and behavior. So with this we will stop with unit number 3. So from next class I think we can